Florida Warmup follows your typical 43-team formats, where teams play a total of 5 match play games over Friday and Saturday. After each team plays 5 games, the algorithm is ran and teams are placed into one of 5 brackets, or sent to consolation pool play. The top 8 teams are put into the top bracket, with teams 9 through 16 in the next, and so on. Teams are ranked first by wins, then by algorithm rating. So winning your games is the most important thing to do. Many people focus on the top bracket because it crowns the champion, but the other brackets have a lot of value in knowing how strong and deep teams truly are. Today, I will recap the tournament, looking through key match play results, a dive into the top bracket, and results to note from the other brackets. Buckle up and get ready for Florida Warmup 2026. On Friday, teams played 3 games, and by the end of the day, 9 teams remain undefeated, with 11 achieving a 2-1 record. At this point, you need a downright miracle if you are 1-2 and want to make the top bracket. Let's take a look at how each team is here. Tufts E-Man is in first after beating Virginia, Alabama Huntsville, and Florida State by 4 or more goals. Their biggest test will be against Carleton on Saturday. Speaking of Carleton cut, they played closer games, but still played very well, beating Maryland, Tulane, and Oklahoma Christian in the process. They have a tough schedule of BYU and Tufts on Saturday. During our stream games on Friday, UMass easily looked the best. Their O-line looks fast, and they have the depth to have a consistent, strong D-line. No wonder they're title contenders. UMass beat down on Minnesota and Texas A&M, while playing one close game to Pittsburgh, winning 13-11. That UMass win against Pittsburgh showed that Pittsburgh may be back. The third highest overall rating despite losing a game. Micah Davis and Ezra Beidler-Schenk are the truth. They have a streamed matchup against 3-0 Michigan on Saturday that may determine if teams make the top bracket. Wisconsin's best win was a universe point win against Georgia Tech, and easy wins against Northeastern and Florida. They have a potentially lighter schedule facing Virginia Tech and Cornell on Saturday, paving an easy path to the championship bracket. All of Brown, Vermont, McGill, Emory, and Michigan also went 3-0, with convincing wins pretty much all around. Emory and McGill also have a test on Saturday, each facing Texas. Taking a look at our 2-1 teams, minus Pittsburgh, all of these teams have a shot to make the bracket if they win out on Saturday, but they need the pieces to fall their way. Of these teams, Texas Tough has the easiest route to win their way in, as they are facing 2 3-0 teams in Emory and McGill on Saturday. Tulane had an impressive day, beating Cincinnati by 5, Central Florida by 10, and only losing to Carleton by 3. They have to face Illinois and Brown on Saturday. Minnesota has a good shot to win their 2 games on Saturday, facing Alabama Huntsville and Northwestern, but can they win convincingly enough to crack the top 8? Of the teams who are practically out of bracket contention, some to note are Miles Grovick's and Isaac Lee's Maryland after losing to Carleton and McGill. Previous college powerhouse Georgia Joja lost to Georgetown and Yale as they are missing Scotty Whitley, who is out for the year. The most shocking 1-2 team is Georgia Tech, who has Adam and Sam Grossberg, as well as former Alabama Huntsville stud Michael Poe, after they lose to BYU and Wisconsin, both on Universe. They're still a team that can make plenty of noise at Nationals if they play it strategically, but this is not a performance you wanted to see from a team wanting to be ranked top 10 in the nation. Before we enter Saturday, we must stop and take our BYU Kai break. BYU plays 4 games on Friday and Saturday each, and are playing much better than their Santa Barbara invite showing last week. They beat Georgia Tech on Universe, Texas by 2, and Ave Maria by 10. Michigan was able to beat them, making BYU 3-1 on the day. They can play massive spoiler on Saturday as they face 3-0 Carleton, 2-1 Northeastern and Virginia, as well as 1-2 Cincinnati. Let's see how Saturday shakes up around the conference. Saturday gave us the, at the moment, game of the year between Pittsburgh and Michigan. That was back and forth. Pittsburgh pulled out the win by the end of the game. Like I mentioned earlier, Micah Davis is the truth. This gave Pittsburgh an easy path to the championship bracket, and despite the loss, Michigan is right there with them. Taking a look at the top 10, we see Texas being the other team alongside Pittsburgh to take over a spot in the championship bracket. Texas was able to climb their way in with close wins over Emory and McGill. Despite that loss for McGill, they barely hang on to their spot in the championship bracket. For the teams that got pushed down, Wisconsin had a good win over Cornell, then lost by 5 to Virginia Tech. When I said Tufts had a key matchup against Carleton on Saturday, that wasn't their only important matchup. They handedly lost the cut 13-6, but also played a tight game against Chicago. Tufts sold the bag on Saturday, going from 1st to 14th overall. Before we enter the brackets, we must take a stop at BYU Central. BYU played much worse on Saturday, starting the day off with the 13-4 loss against Carleton. But they bounced back with a 2-point win over Northeastern, followed by a Universe Point loss to Cincinnati and a 4-point loss to Virginia. A very strange weekend for BYU. Who knows what this team is? All I know is that I want Sunday Frisbee. BYU can't handle that. So let's move to the brackets. In the 9th place bracket, Minnesota beats Maryland, Tufts, and Middlebury all 13-11, giving them hope for a second North Central bid. In the 17th place bracket, Georgetown beats Cincinnati 13-3, Georgia Tech 9-7, and Illinois 12-11. Yet another team trying to get another bid for their region. Will either team be a team to claim a strength bid? I don't think so, but if there are 2 bids in the North Central or 2 to 3 bids in the Atlantic Coast, things could be very interesting come May. It is hard to form a set of words to describe the quarterfinals. This clip can do better than me. Wind, wind, wind. That was the name of the game in the quarterfinals. It seemed like some teams were prepared, like Carleton Cut as they beat Texas 13-5, as well as UMass Zudisk, who beat McGill 13-3. Vermont was not as good as Carleton or UMass in the wind, but certainly better than Pittsburgh, where they won 13-5. Then there was Brown and Michigan. This game was so bad that it was enjoyable to watch. Look at this clip. You would have expected this to be a national championship winning, or tournament winning, or even a game winning assist based on Bartlett's reaction. Nope, that was a score to put Michigan up 3-2. The strategy of the game was to punt it downfield, hope your opponent makes a mistake to give you the short field. But the thing is, both teams were in punt formation all game. I would highly recommend watching this game if you want a good laugh, and that is it. To top it all off, it went to Universe Points.
Oh my God! It's gonna work. It's gonna work this time. It's gonna work. Nothing. No follow. Never back out here. Oh my God.
The semifinals gave us another bad weather day. Not as windy, but temperatures barely above 40 degrees, with 10 to 15 miles per hour wind. That doesn't faze Carleton as they rout Vermont 13-7. In the second semifinal, Michigan starts the game off well with a break, but UMass is able to get theirs back in the first half. Both teams are holding their own, with the game going to Galaxy Point. Michigan takes half, as well as the rest of the day off. As UMass dominates the second half, winning the game 13-8. UMass versus Carleton is a rematch from last year's Florida Warmup final, and it did not disappoint. The clear two best teams this weekend facing off, with bodies flying, offenses moving, and teams trying to prove they are the best of the best. Carleton takes half after many holds. UMass gets the break back and gets us on serve again. Throughout the game, the elite throwers truly stood out due to the wind, with Kalen McSweeney and Jonas Stang Osborne leading UMass, and Declan Miller and Axel Olsen leading Carleton with their throws. With the game getting late and close, Declan Miller plays nearly every single point and proves why he was the player of the year in 2025. Size, speed, throws, he was unstoppable in this game, which is what led Carleton to winning 13-10. Carleton stays the top dog, but this loss shouldn't shake UMass. Hopefully it's just a learning point for the kids up north. We will see soon. Go enjoy your day.
Yes, good seal, Sam. Oh, hey, seal, Sam. Come on, two. Sam, ready, Sam. Come on, two. Go. Sam, you're next. Oh, hit. Yes.